Live from the studios on VOP 90.3 FM, that is Voice of the People 90.3 FM. This is a political spotlight, and the political spotlight takes place here every Sunday from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. And what do? We actually give you a spotlight on topical political events that actually generated quite the conversation across various sectors in the country. And there was quite a lot that actually took place in the course of the week. A lot transpired in the political scene. But first of all, before I proceed, how are you? How are you coping? How are you doing? How are you faring in these times? I know that it's not easy. A lot of us are really trying to grapple. A couple of people can't feed. A couple of people do not have money to take care of their home, to take care of their responsibilities. A couple of people can't even, they don't even have enough money to go to work. So how are you? That's basically the important thing. How are you doing? What we do right here on VOP 90.3 is that we bring up some of these critical issues and then we highlight them. Our analysts in the studio help to give us a perspective. They give us a breakdown of it, so we have a better comprehension of these issues. And of course, you are usually part of the conversation. We get to hear from you. We feel your pulse, and then of course we hear your recommendations. That's basically what we try to do. And the plan is, as long as we continue to talk about these issues, hopefully something will be done. Trust me, they listen, all right? Most of these government officials listen. And your recommendation, your complaint could actually help them into action. And if you have seen the result, if you have seen recent, feedback from the government, you can tell that they are indeed listening. So we will continue to highlight these issues. We'll continue to be objective in giving you the reports on what is going on in the polity. That is what we will continue to do. My name is Esther Nwachukwu. I would implore you to subscribe to our YouTube channel at VOP 90.3 FM. That is VOP 90.3 FM on YouTube. Across our other social media platforms, that's Instagram, X, as well as Facebook, it's VOP 90.3 FM. And of course, you can follow me on Facebook at Esther Nwachukwu, on X at Estic Media, on YouTube. That is ESTIQMEDIA. And of course, my YouTube channel is Estic Media. That's ESTIQMEDIA. Do subscribe. There are quite a lot in there for you to indulge in and get yourself intellectually edified. And you can also send messages for whatever purposes that you require for us to fulfill for you. Now, what is the conversation today? And before I go into a recent development that took place today, I want to tell you that in the course of the week, you do realize that some seized 25 kilograms of rice that the Nigerian customs actually said they were going to give out for a cost of 10,000 rather than the 48,000 or 50,000 naira that usually buy that 20 kilogram bag of rice. Well, apparently somebody died in that stampede. A lot of people thronged at Yaba at the customs there to see if they could also partake in that, very easy subsidized purchase of a 25 kilogram bag of rice. And I don't know, it wasn't properly organized. There was a stampede, everybody trying to hurry to get it. But the thing is that the customs actually did promise to ensure that anyone who is interested would get it at that subsidized rate, and they actually did so. I want to know, do you think that it was a good cause, possibly because they see how Nigerians are suffering and how food has become so expensive? There is food, but food is expensive and is unacquirable. People can't actually have access to it because of how expensive the food items are. And then in the course of the week, you do know that the EFCC rained down on BDCs, that is all these supposed illegal dollar operators, those who actually sell dollar, euro, pounds, sterlings, or whatever on the streets. They were, the EFCC clamped down on them. They wanted to stop them because they feel that they were the ones causing the devaluation and the continuous fall or consistent fall of the naira. I mean, the naira was 1,900 as of Thursday this week, and it was not easy. You could tell that Nigerians were wondering what is going on. What is going on with our naira? The steep decline of the value of the naira was overwhelming, and questions were being asked. And then in the course of the week too, you you heard where a particular cleric threatened President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's wife, Remi Tinubu. He called her an infidel, said because she was a Christian and a pastor and she was not meant to lead. I mean, that was derogatory. That was a very huge one. And Nigerians are asking, where is the DSS to apprehend this cleric who made such an outrageous statement via social media platform? You make such statements on a platform where you have following, and you have not been apprehended, you have not been arrested, you have not been taken in for questioning why you would make such a derogatory comment. I recall that during former President Muhammadu Buhari's tenure, one particular young boy made a disparaging remark on X, on Twitter. That time it was Twitter. He referred to the First Lady as being fat while she was feeding fat on the nation's money, on the nation's treasury. You'll be so surprised how the DSS traced that young boy, traced to his home, to his school, wherever it was where he tweeted that thing, and they took him in. I remember it caused quite the uproar on social media. That was just a slight comment made against the First Lady at the time, where this young boy said, oh, she was fat, she was eating fat on the nation's treasure, on the nation's purse. And this boy was taken in for some days. It took the Nigerian Association, that is the Nigerian Students Association, to plead on his behalf. Nigerians were pleading on his behalf, asking the First Lady to forgive him. A couple of civil society organizations actually pleaded for that young man to be forgiven, and asked that next time you should be careful of the kind of comments that you put on social media against public officials, especially if you cannot defend yourself. And there have been several threats on the presidency. This week alone, or possibly this month, we haven't heard of one arrest. We haven't heard of any investigation into these individuals who have been making treasonable comments against this particular administration. We don't know why. Now, Nigerians are asking questions. Is it because those persons making such comments are coming from a particular region? Is that why the federal government is mum? Is that why the DSS has not taken proactive measures or taken action to apprehend these individuals, to trace them and ask them on what grounds are they making such comments? That's the question that a lot of Nigerians are asking. Well, a lot, I said, like I told you, happened. And in the course of the week too, we saw the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Now, interestingly, the governor actually did what you would call, he addressed Nigerians. It was aired on every terrestrial television station, where he was going to talk about how to, help Nigerians subsidize and create a form of palliative to ease off the hunger in the land, specifically in Lagos. One of the measures that the governor said was going to be implemented was, they called it like, a soup. It's almost like a soup kitchen, where in each local government, right, this mama puts will share food to a couple of Nigerians, almost more, to feed at least more than 1,000 persons per day, and it's meant to run for about 30 or 60 days thereabout. But Nigerians are asking questions. Is that the solution to the hunger pang? Is that the solution to the crisis that we're currently facing? These young people, if you keep giving them this food, then what happens next? How do you go about employing them? How do you go about sustaining them? How do you go about making them productive? So you see people throng to various wards in their local government to take possibly a plate of food. Now, I don't know if it's going to be twice a day or just once a day, but then what about rechanneling this fund into possibly opening up the labor markets? That's what a lot of Nigerians actually queried when they heard Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu talk about how they were going to try to ease off or infuse a palliative for easing off the pang of hunger in the land. Well, as regards to that, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the moment is sitting down with some top economic, some top hierarchical members that makes up the Nigerian economy, the big wigs as we know them, with Dangote, Elumelu and others. He's holding a crucial meeting with them, and of course it's called a crucial meeting with organized private sectors, and the meeting was held at the presidential villa in Abuja. The meeting includes Alhaji Aligo Dangote, President Dangote Groups, Tony Elumelu, Chairman, Heirs Holding and Transport Transcorp PLC, Abdul Samad Rabiu, the chairman of BUA Group, Wale Tinubu, and other members of the private sector. And like I already stated earlier, this is coming amid the economic hardship confronting Nigerians. The current hardship is occasioned by the rise in the exchange rate of dollars to naira. And you'll recall that the close of work on Friday, data show that the naira depreciated to 1,665 to the dollar. At least that is quite commendable compared to what it was on Wednesday and Thursday, where it was 1,950. In fact, when I saw that, I had to quickly call one of my economic analysts to ask him what is causing the consistent devaluation of the naira. You know, I had to ask what exactly is causing, you know, the recent devaluation of the naira, and what are the factors mitigating this. So yes, basically, so at the moment the president is meeting up with them to actually see how they can help put up a measure through which they can curtail the hunger in the land. And quite interestingly too, it's a good one. Any other person who tries to consider what the president is trying to do would say is a good one. What the Central Bank of Nigeria announced draft guidelines in a sweeping policy intervention for BDCs, which includes a ban on street trading and a fresh per capita share requirement for registration. So at the moment, there's quite a lot of policy implementation to restore the naira, to upgrade the naira, for the naira to have its own weight and balance amongst other currencies, especially international currencies, other currencies that you can put at par with the naira. We'll see how that goes. All right. So yes, as well as interesting too, we did hear where the what's his name, Mahmoud Yakub, eventually came to tell us precisely what transpired in the 2023 February 25 elections. Mahmoud Yakub actually said that at the moment he gave a comprehensive report on how the elections went, and gave a confession, or explained how the IRF portal, you know, what transpired on that day where there was a supposed glitch on the IRF portal. Nigerians refused to agree or listen to what, you know, Mahmoud Yakub was saying. They couldn't put their head together around it because it was quite confusing. And then the questions the Nigerians were asking is, why now? Why are you telling us about this now? Why didn't you bring up this report at the tribunal? Why didn't you tell us precisely this breakdown during the calls of, you know, when we were trying to look at the breakdown, the calls of the glitch, when Nigerians were asking, we wanted to know why was it that at the time when results were expected to be seen in real time as you promised, we could not see the results. We couldn't get anything about that result, and you said there was a glitch, and there was no explanation whatsoever up until now. And Nigerians were asking you, up till now, explain to us why there was a glitch on the portal. What technical error, you know, occurred? According to him, he said that there was an error 404 or 504, an HTTP error situation. Also mentioned something about a bug. I think we discussed about this on Friday evening. I'm not an IT. I hope that some of you would actually call on the program and explain what he said. And that has evoked quite a lot of mixed response on the INEC report. Even Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, every other political party member, specifically the opposition, they actually gave their own response as to what they consider that particular report to be. Some found it quite unbelievable, but then, you know, INEC did give a breakdown of what transpired. So they talked about the fact that they showed in the breakdown of the report that was released on Friday, the report showed that Labour Party presidential candidate had a landslide win in the southeast. Obi secured 87.79% votes in the region. He also won in the south-south, securing 42.37% votes in the region. Now, INEC in its reports that is in the northwest, the APC won 39.54%, followed by the PDP with 34.87% and Labour Party with 4.08%. This, of course, is in the northwest. So in the northwest, the APC won a landslide, followed by PDP and then Labour Party. While in the southeast, Labour Party led with 87.79%, with the APC having 5.71% and the PDP 4.08%. That was quite a huge gap that the Labour Party gave there. So in the southeast, Labour Party led with 87.79%, with the APC having 5.71% and the PDP 4.08%. Meanwhile, in the south-south, Labour Party also led with 42.37% in the south-south. So Labour Party led in the southeast and also in the south-south. In the south-south, Labour Party had 42.37%, followed by the APC with 27.99% and the PDP with 26.12%. While in the southwest, the APC led with 53.59%, followed by the PDP with 22.14% and the Labour Party with 19.97%. The commission also revealed that in the northeast, the PDP secured slightly over 50% of the votes there with 50.67%, while the APC came second. So in the northeast, right, this north, you do know the KKK. The northeast is a place where, because of they actually have the majority of lands, they have the highest local governments in Nigeria when it comes to, when you look at the mapping of the Nigerian map in terms of land allocation, in terms of local governments, the north there has more of it. Well, in the northeast, the PDP was able to secure slightly over 50% of the votes there. They led with 50.67%, and then the APC came second with 29.16%, and the Labour Party had 6.09%. While in the north central, the APC secured victory there with 38.58% of the votes, followed by the Labour Party with 31.01%. This is the north central, and then the PDP came third with 25.46%. So north central, APC led 38.58%, followed by the Labour Party 31.01%. The Labour Party was indeed a major thunderbolt in 2023. I mean, from a party that was almost, underground, where nobody actually it wasn't renowned as supposedly, came to be quite that competitive political party in the 2023 elections. All right, so President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was declared the winner of the election after securing the highest number of votes. Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party came second in the race, while Peter Obi came third. Now, the report released by the electoral body to mark the first anniversary of the election generated quite the reaction, and then of course a lot of people went on X to express themselves. Some said, he was voted massively in the east, north central, southwest and south-south. Atiku should have just supported Peter Obi in PDP, So there were quite a number of reactions as to the breakdown that INEC gave concerning the presidential elections, and the explanation that they also gave. That's quite an interesting one. Well, before I proceed, we'll take a very short break and then we'll be right back.
For the perfect getaway?
Look no further than the luxurious accommodations at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, Lagos, number 42, Muritala Muhammad International Airport Road, Lagos.
Relax and unwind in a beautifully appointed rooms featuring all the amenities you need for a comfortable stay.
Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, our attentive staff is here to ensure that your everyday need is met. We also offer complimentary pick-up and drop-off from the Lagos Airport.
Take advantage of our state-of-the-art fitness center, outdoor pool, and enjoy a delicious meal at our on-site restaurant.
With stunning views, world-class service, and a prime location, Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, Lagos is the perfect choice for your next vacation or business trip.
So, why wait? Book your stay today and experience ultimating comfort and luxury at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel.
For bookings and reservations, please call 0815-8003-333 or 0815-7003-333. You can visit our website at airportgoldentuliphotel.com.
Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, where luxury meets comfort. The award-winning pizza in the US is now here in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Romeo, the pizza champions, and cold berry ice cream, delights in every scoop. Visit any of our outlets and feel the rich taste from the pizza champions and cold berry ice cream at 11 Road by First Avenue, First Town, 28 at Deniro Ogusanya Street, Surulere, 13 at Admiralty Way, Lekki Phase 1. Romeo's Pizza and cold berry ice cream. Romeo, the pizza champions. Are you aware that Iruka Online Limited installed and designed a 100,000 capacity church building? Oh yeah, we are the sole distributors of global leading brands all over the world, such as Wafty Line Array, speakers and digital amplifiers, Presenos digital mixers and studio equipment, Coswell workstations and keyboards, Fender guitars, Mapex drums, Ashdown bass combos, just to mention but a few. We offer flexible payment plan handled by our financial department with 24/7 customer care support system. You can visit our website on www.iruka.com to avoid buying fake products. You can also visit our showroom at number 36 Lagos International Airport Road beside Golden Tulip Hotel. Iruka, never settle for less.
Welcome back. You're still onto the political spotlight. We had to go on a break right there, and of course, like I told you, there's quite a lot that transpired in the course of the week. You do know there were elections, Edo primary elections, the Edo State governorship elections, which will take place in November this year. Well, they have decided to go on their primary elections to select who will actually be the flag bearer, and it was quite an interesting one. So, for the PDP Edo primary elections, you had two winners who emerged. There were parallel elections. The same as well transpired with the Labour Party. The Lamidi Apapa faction for the Labour Party said they would not recognize Olumide Akpata. That's an interesting one. Now, for PDP, the former chairman of Sterling Bank, Asue Igodalo, on Thursday emerged the winner of the People's Democratic Party election in Edo State. Igodalo was elected at the delegate election of the party held at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium. But the deputy governor of Edo State, Philip Schreiber, held a parallel primary elsewhere and was declared a parallel winner. So I don't know what INEC is going to do about this particular party. Who will INEC recognize to be the flag bearer for PDP Edo State governorship election? The primary, all right, which took place at the Ogbemudia Stadium, was more like a mere adoption of Igodalo, who is backed by Governor Godwin Obaseki. Igodalo scored a total of 577 votes to beat his closest rival Shaibu, who scored 1 vote, while other candidates scored 0 votes. So a total of 10 aspirants had contested for the ticket. Some of the aspirants, including Omurege, Ogbeida Ihama, and Omosede Igbenidion, withdrew their participation in the election. So Shaibu stayed away, having organized a parallel election at another venue and emerged candidate with 300 votes. So the parallel election that was carried on by Shaibu, who of course is a deputy governor of Edo State, or rather of the deputy governor of Edo State, the deputy to Obaseki. Apparently in the parallel election, he won by 300 votes and he won. And and then of course Ighodalo, the one backed by Obaseki, the current governor of Edo State, also was the selected candidate. So I don't know how INEC is going to deal with this. The same thing too with the Labour Party, Akpakpa, Araba and B faction. They say that Olumide Akpata is not their own candidate. They wrote to INEC to field another candidate to represent, Edo State for the governorship election that will be taking place later in the year. So interesting turn of events in the political scene. Meanwhile, a particular APC chieftain has exposed top government officials working against Tinubu. Now, you remember that last week Friday, because of what is going on, if you remember when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was inaugurated, and I think when he said something, when he announced that fuel subsidy was removed, we saw what transpired afterward. There was a sporadic 360 turnaround. We saw fuel queues at filling dispense stations, that is at the filling stations. We saw queue there. Then there was a sporadic increase in items of food prices, not just food, domestic items, everything that we actually use, we purchase. There was a sporadic increment in that. Beyond that, we started hearing of some multinational companies closing down. They said they couldn't meet up with the current economic reality. So when all of that transpired, the president also held a national broadcast. There was a broadcast where he pleaded with Nigerians on the reason why fuel subsidy had to be removed. If you remember at the time, he said he knows that this is a very painful process, but there was a reason for this. The president mentioned that there were very elite persons, there were the elite of the elite, who were the ones benefiting from that subsidy, and that the main reason why subsidy was implemented, the vulnerable Nigerians who were meant to benefit from it were not benefiting from it. Rather, it is this supposed isolated elite individuals who are benefiting from it. Nigerians asked the president to tell us who these individuals are, why they cannot go after them. And so that was one of the things the president used to plead with us about that. Then later, we now heard the president said he was going to set up an economic team. At the time, he had not yet inaugurated his ministers. So he said he was going to set up a team that would look for how they would give possibly palliatives, right, for food, because food started becoming expensive. It was not just now. So the president said this economic team will be constituted to help assuage Nigerians and alleviate the current problem of that subsidy removal, which had caused a sporadic increment in the purchase of food items and other domestic items that just helps Nigerians go along the day. Now, this is what happened. We didn't hear anything about that team. Then it was supposedly headed by Wale Edu, who was the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning Minister. Then, before the portfolio was eventually divided and given to Atiku Bagudu. Now, the finance minister at the time, we remember that they were giving, I think, rice and a couple of items. I remember then they said the monies that were gotten or remitted from the fuel subsidy removal, they gave some tranche of some amount of money to the state governors. The plan was for the state governors to use this money, buy some palliative items to cushion the effect of the subsidy removal, so that Nigerians can see that it was for the good of the people. Well, some state governments decided to buy rice and what you call it, noodles and pasta and all of that to share. But after that, we didn't nothing else. We didn't hear anything anymore. We didn't get an update. We didn't get a report. We didn't get an audit. Nothing, So that was then. And then now, that's the same measure that is being implemented. When the president was asked, how do you deal with this because of the incessant protests across the country? And the president said, okay, you know what? I'm ordering that 42,000 metric tons of grains be released so that Nigerians can actually benefit. They can eat, they can feed, they can sustain. And then the NLC responded and said, are we pigeons? Why is it that anytime we ask you to give us food, why is that anytime we complain we are hungry, why is that we tell you that things are hard, the first thing you do is to release grains? What will the grains do? Well, how will the grains sustain us? So maybe maize, rice, millet or gari. Is that what will sustain the people? I remember that was the first things the NLC said before they decided to embark on the strike, or rather on the protest that is to take place on the 27th and 28th of this month. I must tell you something, it's quite interesting to see how things actually evolve in this part of the world. And then we remember where in the course of the week there was a leaked memo. And apparently the memo that was leaked was a memo that was telling all government agencies and parastatals, it was a circular warning that any form of memo within the presidency should no longer be leaked, because they were going to look into it. So they were going to change some heads of agencies and parastatals to ensure that memos within the presidency are not leaked. And funny enough, that memo that was to address the leakage of whatever important document circulated within the presidency was also leaked. So it was funny. And I remember where the vice president, Kashim Shettima, also got to Lakwabio. Kashim Shettima said that there were some individuals who want to sabotage the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He said that these persons are conspirators who want to sabotage this administration. You also have Godswill Akpabio, who blamed the current stifled economy on the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele. An interesting turn of events, isn't it? Okay, well, the presidency has exposed top government officials working against President Tinubu. A chieftain of the All Progressives Congress and convener North-South Progressive Alliance, Alwan Hassan, has accused some top government officials of sabotaging President Bola Tinubu's efforts at salvaging the country from its current economic crisis. According to Hassan, some government officials who were not appointed by President Tinubu are behind the current economic challenges facing the country. Hassan disclosed via a particular monitored program on Arise TV that some of these heads of agencies have openly declared their alliance with Atiku Abubakar, presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the last election. And of course, according to what they say, unfortunately, President Tinubu has left people who campaigned against him to man these agencies, people that never believed in the government of the APC and in the administration of President Tinubu, that people that paid money to the opposition. You remember that Bayo Onanuga made that statement. He said that there are opposition members within the president's cabinet that are the ones possibly sabotaging President Bola Tinubu's administration. He also referred to the fact that these political opponents were the ones responsible for the internal memos that we see, circulating on various social media platforms. Bayo Onanuga had already blamed the opposition political parties, and according to Bayo Onanuga, said some persons within the presidency are sponsored by the opposition political party to leak out some of these private memos and destabilize, the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well, so this particular APC member is urging ministers elected by President Tinubu to visit their villages and convince the people of the federal government's resolve towards improving the living conditions. And so, if you are part of this administration, if you are a strong and stern supporter of this administration, and you occupy any government position in whatever form, you go to your constituencies, go to your community and reorient them and tell them that, see, whatever it is that is happening now is not the fault of this administration. No, there are some individuals who are trying to create a sense of social unrest to make this administration infamous. So they're advising that all APC stalwarts, all members and representatives of this government should try to orient and educate members in their villages, wards and local government to believe in the policies of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well, this is just one of the issues that transpired. Now, in reaction, or rather reacting to what the INEC chair said about what transpired with the INEC, with the glitch on the IREP portal, Peter Obi has come out to say that is not tenable enough. That explanation that INEC chair Mahmoud Yakub is giving is not tenable enough. Nigerians have asked that Mahmoud Yakub should apologize to Nigerians, but according to a couple of Nigerians, they feel that their votes were not counted for. I want to reread that particular report that the INEC chair gave. Now, in explaining what transpired with the viewing portal that failed during the 2023 presidential election, they gave a breakdown of how the APC, led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, won, followed by the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar post-mortem report on the 2023 general elections, which was released on the first anniversary of the election. Now, according to INEC, I want us to elaborate this further, because I'm going to be calling calling Barrister Darlington to actually give us his perspective on what he thinks, although we did speak on this when it actually happened, but I want to hear from him again on most of these explanations. Now, you do know that INEC reported that the HTTP error its server returned during the presidential election was because of a configuration bug. So I don't know if any tech expert, I would like you to call in on the program and explain to me the viability, all right, of INEC's explanation as to what caused that particular glitch that we are eventually hearing what caused it. Now, according to INEC, it was a configuration bug which was discovered after the presiding officers at the polling units could only upload the results of the National Assembly election. So Nigerians are asking, how come this bug did not affect the National Assembly election or the State Assembly elections? How come this bug did not affect those other portals? Why was it the presidential? What made the presidential elections different from the National Assembly elections? That's what Nigerians are asking. I mean, a couple of people feel there was something deliberately done and that this explanation is not tenable, but I want to hear from you because there have been quite a lot of reaction to that. Okay, so according to INEC, in his explanation, he says that it was because of that bug that some presiding officers at the polling units could only upload the results of the National Assembly elections, so they couldn't upload the results of the presidential elections. Now, in configuring and mapping the election results for the presidential and National Assembly elections, the report cited that the commission created 470 election types consisting of one presidential constituency covering the entire country, 109 senatorial districts, and 360 federal constituencies. The report further noted that each senatorial district and federal constituency election on the database was mapped to their respective states. Now, I want to draw your attention to the fact, I remember I discussed this on Friday. I want to draw your attention to the fact that there was a mock test on this IRA portal before the elections were carried out. There was a mock test. Now, that mock test was to ensure that all the applications, all right, and software were going to work. If you remember, we were told by INEC during a press briefing that Nigerians should trust the process, that indeed it was going to work. I don't know if you can recall that. That was what Mahmoud Yakub assured Nigerians. So there was a mock test on this particular application to see its viability and it was going to work. And when they did it, it seemed that everything was okay with the IRA portal, with the what do you call that thing, the biometric voting pattern, the electronic device where you're going to thumbprint, and your accreditation device, the accreditation device. All of that was tested during the mock testing of all of that. So that's why Nigerians are asking, what is the tenability of this explanation that INEC chairman is giving to Nigerians as to what transpired on February 25? Okay, so I'm continuing with what he said. It, however, noted that the presidential election result is a single, according to INEC, as to why it was possible that that bug affected the presidential upload of those results. It noted that the presidential election result is a single countrywide constituency and therefore does not belong to any one state. I would implore you to please actually call in and explain to me how this works. All right, because those of you who are into all this can give us a very credible breakdown of this particular result. Now, it also stated that consequently, while the uploads for the National Assembly election succeeded, as the application was able to identify the respective states and build a folder hierarchy for the results organization process for the election, attempts to upload the presidential election results sheets which does not belong to or map to any state on the database failed. Instead, it returned a HTTP server error response. This failure is attributable to the inability of the application to create and build a folder structure to organize the uploaded images of the result sheets of the presidential election. Now, the thing is, if you knew there was a possibility of this happening, why did you assure Nigerians that there was that strong tendency that we were going to see the results real time on the IRF portal? If all of this explanation you were given, I'm sure when you're creating an application, you already know what the factors creating an application would entail. You already know the downside of that application. If you know that that application's viability is possibly 65% or 75% valid, then you consider that application false or you drop it, because you know that if it is just 75% okay, then what happens to the remaining 45% or 35%? So it means that you don't have a 90 or 95% validity or viability of that application working. So you could have dropped it and possibly continued with the normal traditional means we use in, conducting our elections and having to check out the transparency of our results. But for you to have come up with this, it means that you were certain on your application, you were certain on the process, you had gone through all the nook and cranny, the plausible aspect of this, and the negative, that is the downside of it. So coming afterwards, after a year, to explain this, how do you want people to believe? Now, there was a tribunal. You were asked questions as to what caused the glitch. That explanation wasn't given at the tribunal, which of course other tech experts would have helped to also analyze in the process along with you. So how do Nigerians believe what you are given? How do people believe this result? So I want to continue reading, and then hopefully if you call in and you are a tech expert or an IT person, or you're very good with creating softwares and applications, you can possibly help us comprehend or contextualize this explanation that the INEC chair has given. So, according to him, the failure is attributable to the inability of the application to create and build a folder structure to organize the uploaded images of the result sheets of the presidential election. Now, it went further, that narrating the RF problem, INEC in its report said it was first reported at 4 p.m. on election day and was partially resolved in 4 hours. The Commission admitted that it was a key challenge that impacted on the public perception of the election and elicited widespread commentary across the country. So, INEC stated, and I quote, "To begin with, it is important to note that the RF portal is one of the most significant innovations introduced by the Commission prior to the 2023 general election to promote the integrity and transparency of the electoral process." Was INEC able to fulfill this? Is that the perception that Nigerians have of, INEC's supposed electronic upgrade? Well, I don't know. You're going to let me know when you call in. So, as a public-facing website, the ARA portal shows the images of the original polling unit result sheets as recorded in Form EC8A. The operational methodology and the concept behind the upload of results to the ARA portal for public viewing is quite simple. At the end of polls, polling unit results, that is Form EC8As, are scanned and uploaded to the IRF by the presiding officers. These results are then available for viewing to the public and all stakeholders. So, I don't know how that particular HTTP 504 or 404 whatever error did not apply to the National Assembly election results that were uploaded. And it happened at a time when Nigerians were expecting to have started viewing the results of the polling units that were trickling in, because the officials were already having issues with uploading results. And then all of a sudden, around 4 p.m. or 5 p.m., we just heard that there was a technical error. No further explanation, and then later INEC sat and said the results were going to be done through, to count the results, send it to the collation center, and then it will be publicly announced. And that was where Nigerians now went haywire. They no longer trusted the credibility of the 2023 elections. And up till now, that particular situation impacted the perception of the genuinity of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's win, regardless of the fact that INEC disclosed and attended to the fact that he was the winner, and the Supreme Court also affirmed that the president was the winner. I actually have via the telephone right now somebody that I already introduced earlier, who would help us talk about this issue as possible in his capacity on some of the things that we've raised. And then, of course, while he talks, then of course I'll open the phone lines, and then you can actually send in your recommendations and what you think about what has been mentioned in the course of the program. Mr. Darlington, good evening.
Good evening, Esther. How are you?
I am fine. I am so fine. Thank you so much for gracing us on the program. Mr. Darlington, on the political spotlight, we tend to get an overview of issues across the polity that transpired in the course of the week. I know that I and you had a conversation on Friday when Mahmoud Yakub came to possibly explain to us what transpired as to what caused the glitch on the IRA portal, and you actually expressed yourself vehemently that day. Also, you saw what transpired in the primary elections for Edo State, which of course will be taking place later this year, possibly around September or November this year. And for the PDP, there were parallel elections. Ijeoma Egwuatu of the PDP, who is in support by Obaseki, won. And then you have Philip Schreib, the deputy governor, organizing another parallel elections where he turned up the winner. So at this point, who is the representative of the PDP for the Edo State governorship elections that will take place later this year? You also have the same thing applying to Labour Party. Olumide Akpata was declared the winner, but Lamidi Akpata faction is saying no, Akpata is not their own representative. So what is going on with these political parties, and how do you think INEC will resolve this?
Thank you, Esther. What is going on in our political space is an aberration. I don't know why, even at over 24 years, we have not matured politically to do simple primary election. You see people who are supposed to lead the people, men who are supposed to lead their people, who are supposed to show the way. Look at what they are doing. Now, do you think that if people emerge through this type of primary, they are going to perform in office? The answer is no. The answer is no, because your performance in office starts with your election. If your election is dysfunctional, then how can you perform in the office proper? It's not possible. That is just a fact. All these factions here, factions there, is all about money. It's not about leadership. It's not about service. And you can see it playing out. Unfortunately, the Nigerian people who are supposed to be the king in here, they don't even know their right. They are being manipulated by these opportunists who call themselves a politician. If not, why the factions? Why do you have two parallel primary? Why? Why is it that the parties cannot organize themselves if they truly want to serve? Are they trying to impose themselves on Nigerians? It is unfortunate. The problem now is in the hands of, or rather, the solution is with INEC. INEC will not choose which of the primaries were there present, that they conducted, that they supervised. That is the most important thing. Because INEC had to supervise those primaries for it to be authentic. So if you are a factional leader, you are going to anoint a candidate somewhere, and INEC was not present, how can that be credible? How can that be accepted? But in Nigeria, I will not be surprised, especially with this INEC. You will not be surprised that the factional leaders' candidate will be more recognized than the authentic candidate of the party. That is the truth. So, from the primary now, they are going to court. Esther, this matter will end up in court now. Ordinary primary, the election proper have not come. It's unfortunate. We have not learned any lesson. I don't know who will discipline these politicians, because they have caused us a lot of problem. A lot of problem. I don't know who will discipline them so that they will do the right thing for once. The level of arrogance and impunity and recklessness is too much. The election we conducted last year, we are still battling to come out of it. And now another staggered election. Look at what is going on. It means that nobody have learned any lesson. I'm telling you. And it's because nobody has been disciplined. Sincerely speaking, I wish God would teach these politicians lessons. God himself will come and teach them lessons so that all this nonsense will stop. Seriously.
All right. Barrister Darlington, let's also look at the fact that we do know that a lot happened in the course of the week. Some seized rice were distributed to Nigerians at the rate of 10,000 naira. And one person died because there was a stampede to that. The president is insisting that he would be able to resolve this problem. I remember Nigerians are asking for the borders to be open. Now, in reaction to that, though, there are speculations by some individuals within the cabinet of the president that there are deliberate sabotage by some persons to render this administration redundant, and in persons who are frustrating or stifling whatever economic procedure or measures that this administration is implementing to kickstart the renewed hope agenda mantra. What's your take on that?
There is nobody disturbing Tinubu in his administration. If APC is having opposition, then it is APC that is against itself. You remember that during the primary or during the campaign, Tinubu was even campaigning against his own party. Remember what he said in Calabar? While he was trying to carpet Buhari's administration, that they don't know what to do, they don't know how to do it, they don't have the experience. After saying it at that campaign ground, the following day he ran to Abuja to go and meet Buhari behind closed doors, probably to apologize to him. So if the same thing is happening to Tinubu now, who should he blame? We keep hearing these people. We keep hearing opposition, powerful Nigeria. Don't they have a name? Don't they have a face? How did you now identify them? Are they invisible? Esther, when you hear this type of thing, you should know that the people in charge, they are confused. It is said that a bad workman always quarrels with his tools. If they know what to do, nobody is going to disturb, because they have all the freedom, they have all the power, they have all the knowledge. Why should anybody disturb them and they cannot deal with that person? Each time you keep hearing opposition. Who is that opposition? Who are those people sabotaging APC? What did they want to achieve now? Peter Obi and Atiku have moved on after the judgment by the Supreme Court. So who is that person sabotaging them now? It means that the APC members are sabotaging their own party. That is why they cannot name them. That is the truth. This is akin to what they told us about insecurity. Before telling them they gave you are sitting on it up to today. Yes, there is insecurity all over the place. So is it not obvious that you are the one covering what is disturbing you? You are the one covering it. So why should you complain? You like it now. That's why you have refused to call them out. You have to name them and shame them. So why are you always complaining? So that Nigerians will sympathize with you that some people are sabotaging you. By the way, what effort are you making that somebody is sabotaging? All your policies, you are the one reversing them by yourself. You are the one reversing them by yourself. So what is the sabotage here? How did they sabotage you? It is your party. It is your party. That's why you don't have the political will to deal with them, to call them out, to expose them. That is just the truth. I am very sure if it is an opposition party, they won't waste time. In fact, they will disgrace them. You saw what they did to Akure at Benin City.
Yes.
You saw what they did to a party chairman. You saw what they did to him. So what else are you saying? You saw how they messed that man up. Just for 12 hours, so they released him again. So what was the reason for all that embarrassment? If I were good, I would take them to court. I will sue them. Calling him an armed robber. Imagine a man that have security details, DSS with him. It is unfortunate the way this party, the way they behave and talk. I don't like it. I don't.
All right.
They keep misleading Nigerians. They keep saying one thing and doing another thing. And when the thing backfires, they start looking for somebody to blame.
All right, Barrister Darlington, there have been quite a lot of mixed reactions and mixed responses to INEC report. INEC gave a breakdown of what transpired in the 2023 presidential elections. Remember that you had this conversation on Friday when INEC just actually disclosed this particular scenario to us, and Nigerians were asking questions. Why now? Some Nigerians felt that it wasn't tenable. Some Nigerians felt, why didn't all of this not come out at the tribunal? And the supposed bug that INEC said was the cause, or whatever it was that they did in their mapping, that all of this should have been thought through before INEC divulged the authenticity of that application to be used as a means through which to monitor the transparency of the election. I will open the phone lines very soon for the callers to actually tell us. Anyone who is a tech expert can explain what that means to us. Now, apparently, with that reaction, a lot of people are saying, Peter Obi and Atiku should have possibly merged. Atiku should have supported Peter Obi. Some persons now say, with the breakdown, it means that Obi won in the east, won in the north central, and even in the south. Others say, okay, INEC, there is no need for this report. If you go on X, these were the various reactions. I had to take a screen recording of them. Some other person said, are we still on this matter? It was a very good contest, and some people are warning, is this what we're going to experience in the 2027 elections? So what's your take on Mahmoud Yakub's explanation as to what transpired, what caused the glitch for the presidential election particularly? What's your take on that?
The question to ask is, was there any time anybody demanded this explanation from INEC chairman? Since after the election, people have moved on. Nobody even wants to remember what happened because it was a nightmare. So in the heat of this hunger pandemic, why should this man come to remind us of our past? This thing he's saying now is even more annoying than when it happened.
It's a comprehensive post-mortem report on the 2023 general elections.
Post-mortem report. Nobody asked him to go and exhume that corpse. The corpse of that election is dead and buried. Exhuming it now is like reminding us of what we want to forget.
But what he's saying is that it's the
all the so-called percentage is big enough now has altered the initial percentage, the electoral performance of all the parties. It has altered it.
But the question now, Barrister Darlington, is this particular configuration bug. According to what INEC is saying, this configuration bug was discovered after the presiding officers at the polling units could only upload the results of the National Assembly elections. So why did this bug not affect other elections that were conducted that day?
You should be asking INEC. That is why I tell you that this man is just want to, when somebody wants to play on your intelligence, must you allow him? You want to play on the intelligence of Nigerians. And it's unfortunate that a man of that height, a professor, will be speaking from both sides of his mouth. Look at what he's saying. Even that first time, we asked him, what is this glitch you are talking about? Why didn't this glitch affect the National Assembly election? It had to be the presidential election. They didn't give us any answer. He has come back again to tell us that it is a bug. What bug? Is it the millennium bug or what? I don't understand.
You said configuration bug, and that it was discovered by the presiding officers just for the presidential election, but for the National Assembly elections, it didn't happen. So and it's supposed to cut across all regions.
Don't go too far. It is a pure lie. Don't iterate this thing. When somebody is lying, you know he's lying. There's no two ways about it. He is lying. How many of the returning officers? How many of them are tech savvy to know which one is what?
No, but they had their tech experts with them.
Did any of them complain that day? Did any of them? You had them telling the whole world that they were giving the wrong code to upload the results. You had them complaining. So what is INEC chairman telling anybody now? He is lying and he knows he's lying. That is just the simple truth. There's no two ways about it. Because he has told us several versions of this story. Several versions. Remember, they started with Lai Mohammed,
yes,
who told us that the system was attacked.
No, Lai Mohammed. Lai Mohammed did not know when he gave a slip. When he went to Washington D.C. to explain the elections and told the U.S. media there not to mind the opposition parties who were ranting that the elections were not credible. If you remember, Lai Mohammed said that it was deliberately not uploaded. Because they were trying to do that, yes, that it was deliberately not uploaded. In fact, he didn't know when he said what he said. He said it was deliberately
an attack.
Yes, that they were trying to avoid those attacks on the portal. That's what Lai Mohammed said.
Good. So why didn't INEC chairman make reference to the same thing Lai Mohammed is saying? My dear, they have exhausted all the lies. They don't know what to say again. I'm telling you, why does it have to take a whole year for you to discover these things? A whole year. Look at all the promises. Look at all the tests that was conducted over this. In fact, they told us that INEC is just for viewing the results. It is not for uploading the results. That the INEC is not so important. They said it. That is just for viewing sake. And we asked, come. But you told us the importance of this, that we need to, there will be no mistake, and there will be no manipulation. So how come it is just for viewing sake and no longer for uploading? This man told us a lot of lies. I'm telling you. All the things he went to Chatham House to tell the whole world. All the campaign he went abroad to go and campaign, all of them came to nothing. Unfortunately,
so Mr. Darlington, are we saying now? Are we saying now that INEC as an institution cannot be trusted? Because it took a lot. It took a lot for Nigerians to even come out and vote at the off-season elections.
You mean in the next election they will trust INEC? People will simply stay away. That is, they will get tired of ruling Nigeria.
But that would be a good thing if people stay away.
Nigeria, they will hand over on their own one day. Esther, don't bother yourself. Nigerians will simply go away. Let them continue to misrule Nigeria. They will get tired. It's true now. What other promise are they going to give us in the next election? What? Tell me what? Look at how everything was manipulated, even up to Supreme Court. They told us all cock and bull story. Because they wanted one man to be in power. He said he is in power now, and all of them have been disappointed. That is why all of them are coming out now to come and be speaking right, left, and center. They are all disappointed now. They are disappointed. So nobody, you don't need to ask that question. Nobody can trust INEC again. He would have kept quiet. Let us continue to lick our wounds. Now he has gone to open it up again. With this thing he's saying now, he has forgotten what he told us before. Answer, was it not this one that told us about glitches? Now it is Bob. Can you imagine?
It was the bug that caused the glitch now.
Look, tomorrow he will come out with another thing that mosquitoes entered into the system. Mosquito. There is one wicked mosquito that went there to go and eat up the system. That they did not see it that time. They are not seeing the mosquitoes now. Look at what he's saying. This is something we would have discovered immediately and come up with a report after 1 year.
That's the question. A report ought to have been given that very day, or possibly at the tribunal. I mean, that's what a lot of Nigerians are asking. Why was that explanation not given at the tribunal? Why are you coming out a year after to tell us and give us this report? And how do we believe?
Go and check. Some people, that means maybe this man is getting pressure from outside Nigeria.
But for what? Pressure for why?
Yes,
why outside Nigeria? Pressure for what? Who is pressuring him?
He's getting pressure because what the man they brought into power has messed up. And they're asking him, how did you say that this man won an election? How did he win this election? What exactly happened to the uploading of the presidential election? So Maybe these things are why he came up with this nonsense. I'm telling you, he's under pressure. Somebody must have been talking to him behind closed door, and he didn't know what to say except to come out with this thing now. That is the truth. You cannot rule it out. There must be something going on behind closed doors, because the man they did all this thing for has disappointed all of them. He has disappointed all of them. That is really where the embarrassment is coming from. They never believed that things will be this bad. They never believed it. That is the truth. So he tried now to exonerate himself and give one useless excuse or the other as to what happened, so that nobody will say he deliberately did it. But he knows the truth, because the people that produced those systems, they were invited to, and they said nothing was wrong. They said nothing was wrong. They said it. So where is this bug and the glitch is talking about? It's not lies.
All right, Mr.
If there was something like that, the National Assembly wouldn't have uploaded. It's not possible. Remember that two of them were done simultaneously.
Yes, simultaneously. That's the question. How come that bug was experienced for the presidential and the National Assembly own?
I don't want to discuss this. This man is making me angry. Simultaneously, immediately. How can the same bug select National Assembly and there was a smooth transmission? Then when you come to presidential, the same bug will now begin to disturb the system. How? Please, how? What explanation is this? That there is no explanation here. Let him keep quiet. He's annoying everybody the more. These are insulting our intelligence, for God's sake. What are you telling me? It's not possible. It's not. If it is a standard or something, we say, okay, maybe the National Assembly when that happened today, the system accepted it. Maybe by tomorrow, when they did the presidential, something happened. But this was immediately, timelessly. How do you explain that? Instead of him to keep quiet, he's giving one. Please let him keep quiet, please. We have had enough of his life.
All right, thank you, Mr. Darlington. Let's take some calls now. I would appreciate you to actually call and speak on the subject matter, no generalization. All right, the number to call is 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call, 0700 903 903 903. And then the WhatsApp number, the number to send your WhatsApp messages to is 081 717 56338. 081 717 56338. That's the WhatsApp number. Hello? Hello? Hello, good evening. Can you hear me, please? Hello? I can hear you. Hello? All right, 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call, 0700 903 903 903. Hello? Why? Please don't start. Network, don't start now. Oh, I can't hear anything. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call, and the WhatsApp number to send your messages to is 081 717 56338. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Good evening.
Hello?
What's your name?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. What's your name, please?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead, please.
I can't hear you.
Go ahead. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
All right. Technical team, please. I need help here.
Hello?
I don't know. This network thing has started again. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. All right, and then you send your WhatsApp messages to 081 717 56338. Hello? Hello?
Sorry, Jane.
Hello? How are you? Good evening. Can you hear me? Good evening.
I can hear. Can you hear me?
All right. Yes, please. What's your name and location, please?
Yeah, this is Remy.
All right, Remy. How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I am okay. Happy Sunday.
Yeah. Same to you.
All right, go ahead.
My questions to you and Mahmoud Yakub.
To me, I'm not Mahmoud Yakubo.
If the bug was responsible for what happened on that day,
yes,
was the bug responsible for him to have declared APC to have won River State when the result on IREV spoke otherwise? The report on IREV, the result showed that Labour Party won River State, but Mahmoud told the whole world that APC won that state. So what declared contradicted what was on their own portal. So was the bug responsible for that as well? 2, was the bug responsible for that of Lagos State as well too? The figure he gave was different from the figure Labour Party and PDP had in their gathered during the election.
So are you saying that the result that was declared, it was actually more, Labour Party won more in Lagos than
of course
that was declared?
PDP challenged that, even it was even PDP that came first on air to say the results Mahmoud declared just now contradicts what they have, even before Labour Party came out to affirm what PDP said. So was the bloc responsible for that as well? 3, we also what happened on that day, Esther. We either choose to live in denial or we stick to the truth. Mahmoud Yakub sold out. It was clearly obvious. Dino and other opposition party challenged him when he was reading out those results that, Oga, what you are saying, the results you are declaring contradicts what we gathered from the state. And his response was he was going to set up an intervention blah 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 unit when he was reading out the results, which he never did. So was the bug also behind that? It's quite obvious INEC sold out. We might choose to accept that or live in denial. I would even want the media to question or interview Mahmoud and pose these questions to him, because now he came up with this explanation to defend the fraud that happened on that day. So how can INEC be trusted when INEC sold out? We saw when Ekiti people protested that the result declared wasn't what they voted, wasn't their result. Same in Nasarawa and so many other states. So are we saying we were all wrong with those facts before us, that INEC was right and the ruling party too was right with what all they said? We saw how they frustrated oppositions during the tribunal. They couldn't give them the results. When they gave Labour Party, it was blurry. Over 18,000 results, odd results. Even when INEC was asked to read it, they said it was blood. So how come INEC gave a blood result to an opposition, and they even couldn't read the results? It's so annoying, and it was deliberate. This is what they wanted. Simply, they're already in power, and they should make things to work. They shouldn't ask for anybody to give them ideas. They claim to have the solution to the Nigeria problem, so they should make things work. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Remy. That was quite comprehensive. The number to call is 0700 903 903 903. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Evening. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. Please, what's your name?
Hello.
I can hear you. Just go ahead, please. When you call, go ahead and talk. If you can't hear me, go ahead.
Hello. Hello.
I can hear you. Go ahead and speak. I can hear you. If you can't hear me, just go ahead and speak.
Hear you.
Just go ahead and speak. I can hear you. Okay, for now I think you should call on WhatsApp, because I don't know what's wrong with our number. Obviously you guys can't hear me, but I can hear you. So call the number 081-717-56338. 081-717-56338. Kindly call that number so that possibly we can hear you. Hello. Hello.
Well, I can't hear you, but I believe you are hearing me.
Yes, I can hear you. Please go
I'm
ahead.
Jude. I'm calling from Ikorodu.
All right, Jude.
I think INEC chairman is just trying to provoke Nigerians one more time. I've forgotten what the game is. What I just want to tell him is, I personally would demand from him is to organize media chat and let people ask him questions. If you not just print paper and come and read it, after the election, who have seen him in the public, so he should make himself available for the media, so he can take questions from people.
All right.
I believe that it is difficult to convince Nigerians next time that INEC will do a good job. It is very difficult.
All right, thank you, Jude. Thank you.
That's just my view.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So please, when you call, just go ahead and talk. Introduce yourself and tell us where you're calling from, and go ahead. I can hear you, obviously, but you can't hear me. So I think it's a network thing. All right, but you can also send your messages to 081-717-56338, or you can actually call 081-717-56338 via WhatsApp. You can call that too. Hello. Hello. Please turn down the audio of your radio. Turn it down completely.
Hello.
Go ahead and speak, please. Go ahead and speak. I can hear
good
you.
Evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Concerning the INEC chairman, it's too late to cry where the head is all. The deed have been done. It could have known make us to remember the past, because making someone remember the past is seems like it's hardest salt to the wood. So it should not make us to remember the bad experience. We have forgiven. We should just allow the dead one to rest, not to go assume them. That is just my contribution.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. 0700-903-903-903. That's the number to call. Please, when you call, trust me, I can hear you if you can't hear me. So just go ahead and give us your contribution. Hello.
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 Yeah, hello. Turn down the audio of your radio, please. Turn down the audio of your device. What's your name and location? Go ahead, I can hear you.
Yeah. See Mahmoud and Chairman, please let that man be careful, because Nigerians are dying in hunger. They are dying in hardship. Let him not go provoke when the sleeping lion again. They will be putting blames on somebody, or they want to hold somebody as their failure to submit their demand. Please let that man respect himself. I know he's not passing what Nigeria is passing through in hardship. He has the money, he can eat anything and drink anything he likes. He doesn't know that people are dying in hunger. So let him respect himself and let them carry on with their ruling. Any of us that remain, let us, since 2015, Nigerians have tried in rich this time. So let that man respect himself. That's my own contribution.
All right, thank you. 0700-903-903-903. That is the number to call. 0700-903-903-903. I noticed that when you call, you can't hear me, but just go ahead, introduce yourself, let us know where you're calling from, and then go ahead with your contribution on the program. You can also send your WhatsApp messages on 081-717-56338. 081-717-56338. You can join us virtually on YouTube at VOP 903 FM. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, hello. Evening.
Hello.
I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Esther.
Yes.
Good evening. Huh?
Go ahead, please. All right, let me read some WhatsApp messages here. If you're listening to the program, kindly ensure that when you call, I can hear you. So go ahead, introduce yourself and contribute. Also, please turn off your device, like reduce the volume. It's really disconcerting when I hear myself. That feedback is disconcerting. All right. Okay, so I'm going to take some WhatsApp messages now. And this is from Andy Madu. INEC chairman should please go and sit down. We're all in the problem he brought us. All right, Andy Madu. I also have this message from I think Dio sent a message earlier. Okay. Evening, Esther. I saw some highlights of the governor interview. It was as if he was campaigning after elections and building castles in the air and not addressing issues of removing Agberu from the roads and even from people bringing food to Lagos. No matter for Lagosians, even though we are on top of water, no good roads and inner roads in Lagos, no low-cost housing for the poor. The houses they built is for the rich and elite. They are planning of sharing food. Are we beggars and Almajiri? This is more or less vote buying. It is not the wrong policy of this Oga that has brought us in this nightmare. Like I used to say, blessed are those who do not expect from this people, for they shall not be disappointed. All right, this is Dyer from Fagba. Dyer, well done, thank you. The number to call is 0700 903 903 903, and the WhatsApp number is 081 717 56338. If you're watching us on YouTube, the number will be scrolling on the screen, and there you'll see the number to call and the WhatsApp number to send your messages to. And you can also call via WhatsApp as well, so possibly the network will be better. Hello. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number. The WhatsApp number is 081 717 56338. 081 717 56338. That is the WhatsApp number. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, hello, please go ahead.
Okay, my name is Prince.
All right, Prince.
Please, I've had your discussion over radio. And I want to tell us that we Nigerians are not happy over what are passing through this country. And the INEC chairman is part of the problem. So please, you should just let the taking dog life. We don't want to say anything again. Let us continue until God intervenes, because I know nothing can do to us now. So please, let me just quiet. That's my own view.
Thank you. Thank you. Please, when you call, turn off the listening device. Whatever it is you're listening to the program with, please turn it off. Hello. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. Hello. Go ahead, please. What's your name?
Hello.
I can hear you. Just go ahead.
You can hear me.
Yes. Good evening.
I'm fine. So I want to comment on that INEC chairman move. He's just trying to play on Nigeria intelligence. He came out because of this election that is coming on. So he just wanted to play on Nigeria to know their reactions. That's what I believe. Thank you.
All right, thank you. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. I sincerely do apologize, although I think it's the network. If you call, I can hear you. So I'm really curious to know. I want a tech expert to call. I want to hear what a tech expert will say as to the error, the configuration bug that Mahmoud Yakub said was the cause. Hello. All right, when you call, trust me, I can hear you. Go ahead and speak. And if you cannot hear me and you want to hear me, I think you should call the WhatsApp line. It is 081 717 56338. Hello. Turn off your listening device, please. Good evening. How are you?
Frankly speaking to you, I started following Mahmoud when he was a lecturer at NDA from 1984, 85, 86. None of his way that is stretched. I'm just telling you too, because even the lecturer, one of his solo lecturer whom I knew, was 35. So Mahmoud, he like Dallas said, that his conscience is sorry him, and this conscience that is sorry him, I've never started though. This conscience I've never started though. He's going to regret all his life all this kind of situation that we put into this country. Look at what he's saying now, like a children. Okay, let us call the people that are giving us that the company that gave it. They have come here and testified that nothing happened to that this thing. And Mahmoud is coming now to tell us that this thing happened, this one, this happened. Who will listen to him? Who will listen to him? Mahmoud is just trying to provoke us once again. I don't like the way the Mahmoud is saying, let him go and sit down. All what he commit in this country will board on him and his family. God bless you.
All right. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call, and the WhatsApp number is 081 717 56338. 081 717 56338. And we're also streaming live on YouTube, so you can actually send your messages in there. I have Dave Frank says Nigeria as a whole needs deliverance. Chilled Power says on YouTube, why is INEC talking now, Is it guilty conscience? Laugh out loud. Chilled Power says Nigerians will never trust INEC again. Emmanuel OC says if you trust INEC at your own risk. Echo Yo Chinedu Prosper. INEC or not is not all that is the problem. The major problem is the constitution. It needs total change, but not this 10th assembly. Oladimeji Michael says let INEC chairman ask for forgiveness. Ernest Nadi at Oladimeji. Okay, so he's responding. There's nothing like apologizing. He should honorably resign and face the law. Okay. 0700 903 903 903. Hello. Welcome to the Political Spotlight.
Hello.
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 I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Hello.
If you can't hear me, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello.
All right. Please, when you call, I want you to know that I can hear you. If you're listening to this program and you're calling, know that I can hear you. So just go ahead and, disclose and talk and speak. Hello?
Hello?
Yes. What's your name
Hello,
and location?
This is Ola from Surulere.
All right, Ola, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Number one, the Mahmoud Yakub is correct.
Okay.
It's possible to have a different file for different results. So you should not expect that they will use the same file to store Senate and House of Reps with the presidential.
Okay.
So it's possible for the server not to be able to generate the folder to store the file for the presidential.
Because of the bug, yeah?
Technical, yes, because of the glitch or the error
bug.
or
You said it's
whatever
a
that
bug.
happened. Yes. So that is that.
So
now,
you're saying, wait, I need
results,
to get you well. You're saying that there's a different folder for presidential and different folder for National Assembly.
yes,
So it's,
that's how it's normally done.
but why was there no issue with the National Assembly folder? Because it was the voting was simultaneous. As you're voting for presidential, you're
Yes,
voting for
error
National
can
Assembly.
occur at any time. Error can occur at any time. It's application. So that one is normal. If you see any developer, I can tell you. So let me go to the next one. The next one is about the result. The people that are complaining about the result, let me give you an analogy. If you play football in football and you score a goal, but the goal is not showing on the scoreboard, would the goal be cancelled? So that is what happened. The election result still valid, whether it's displayed on IRS or not. Nothing, according to Nigeria Electoral Act and the Constitution, the collation of result is manual, not by IRF. IRF is just a displaying portal. That's all. So it doesn't have anything to do with the integrity of the result. So, and those people that are claiming that they won, why can't they prove in the court? Till today, they cannot tell us the number they score in Lagos. The number they score in the middle belt, they are claiming that they won.
Some of the result sheets were blurry. So
yeah,
I mean,
if it is blurry, how will you now say you are right or you are wrong? So we only rely
on the one INEC collated and the one each party has because where I voted in Surulere, the agent of the party were given copy of the results. So we know what we scored in our own polling booth. So everybody can tabulate that and know what they have and prove it in the court, which they failed to do. So why are they just coming to settlement everything? Look at the percentage. APC won in 3 zones.
Yeah.
Northwest, North Central, and Southwest. Obi won in Southeast and South. Then Atiku won in Northeast. So how will Obi now won the election? Please explain to us, the people that are claiming that he won. So the people just want to use a Trump method. I call it Trump methodology. For you to be relevant, you disagree with the result and you continue to claim that you won. That is Trump methodology. The world don't know that until when Trump came and claimed that he won the election, that Biden did not win. So, and that's what Obi and Atiku are using, just that they can keep their follower and continue to feed them with lies. So that is the way I see it.
All right, thank you for calling.
The last one is about the media itself. When you are analyzing that the company left Nigeria, how many multinationals are left?
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, the network again. 0700 903 903 903. I can take one more call because the program is gradually rounding off. We're rounding off the program now. All right. Good evening, Esther Wachukwa, my dear brother, Mr. Darlington. You guys are doing a wonderful job. I must commend you all. President Tinubu should hasten up in all his campaign promises. There's really hunger and starvation in the land. As for the INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakub, he's being tormented by prayers of the innocent Nigerians whom he has plunged into abject poverty by not doing the needful. The whole truth about how the 2023 general election was conducted is yet to come out, but I know it will very soon. Nigerians deserve leaders who will listen and care for its subject at all times. We are really blessed by the God Most High and do not deserve this maltreatment. Okay? Chijoke from Ikoton. Thank you so much, Chijoke. Hello?
Hi, good evening, my sister.
Good evening, how are you? What's your name, please, and location?
I'm good. My name is Sito. I'm calling from Sierra Leone.
All right, go ahead, please.
Right, the last caller, that's his opinion.
Yes, that's his
opinion. And that's my own opinion. I'm going to speak. This is people like that man are the reason why we are facing what we are facing today in that country. When you know the truth and then you try to find something to turn it the other way around where it will favor you, that is his own problem anyway. But Nigerians knows the truth. But what I'm saying is, I think we need to come to the round table and divide this country. That's the only solution.
We're not going to
Thank you very
call for
much.
division of this country, all right? That is a wrong perception to actually stipulate on such a public fora. We're discussing the issues here. The last caller gave his own perception and he seems convinced with his own perception, which you're entitled to. But there shall be no call for any division. We do not promote ethnic division, religious division. We do not promote nepotism, all right? We just talk about these issues, and the idea is your recommendation would be implemented by the relevant government officials. Hello, you're the final call on the program. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, evening. What's your name? Hello, I can hear you. Go ahead, please. All right, we have a network situation. We need to round up the program now. It's actually 8:25. For some of you who try to call, we sincerely do apologize for not taking your calls. Some of you could not talk talk because you could not hear me. It was a network situation. I sincerely apologize. For those of you who were able to get through, thank you so much for being part of the conversation. Barrister Darlington, thank you so much for helping to analyze and give us your concept of what the issues were being discussed in the political spotlight. My name is Esther Wachuku. You can actually follow on social media at Estic Media on YouTube. That's ESTIQMEDIA on YouTube, ESTIQMEDIA. And then on Instagram is at Esther Nwaz. On X is Esther Wachuku, that is Estic Media on YouTube. And of course on Facebook it's Esther Wachuku. Subscribe to VOP 903 FM across all social media platforms. To have yourself a wonderful evening and stay blessed.